Good afternoon. Today is Tuesday, January 29th, and class is in session. I am Michael Karls, and I am here live at Big Rock Golf and Pub, presented to you by Coachella Valley Sports and Entertainment Stadium Authority. In case you didn't know, we're building a stadium out here right on the freeway. Check it out. Check out the website. Check out everything about it. It's going to be awesome for the Valley. We're talking sports, talking high school sports. We have some few segments to go over today. First one I wanted to go over is a parental advisory. This is a public service announcement for parents, relatives, and other sports viewers that are going to games out here in the Valley. This one is, you would think you wouldn't have to explain this one, but you would be surprised, right? Do not shout bodily harm on opposing players, on the other teams. Like, come on, like, what are we doing? I was at a basketball game last week in the Valley, actually, and one of the players fouled the other player pretty hard, and at the line, a parent from the crowd yells, "You get 5 of them, better make them all count." And I just couldn't believe, like, that's what you're going to yell at a game. Like, the whole point is we're not trying to hurt kids. Like, that's not how you win any of these games, like, let alone just doing that just for what? Like, makes no sense to me. Another one that that happened to me, I was playing Palm Desert Rec right out off of Cook Street, the baseball fields out there, and I believe it was probably the dad of the kid pitching. While I'm at the plate, he yells, "Put one in his ear." So let's, as parents, like, let's think about what we're saying before we actually say it. Like, good grief. I mean, I'm in elementary school, and I got to worry about a kid putting one in my ear while I'm out playing baseball. Like, come on. Like, this is a kid's game, man. Like, let's relax, pump the brakes a little bit, and let's get back to just enjoying what we're watching, and let's keep our mouths shut, for real. Other segment today. This one's a fun one. It's called Get Off My Porch. And this segment is about something that I've heard in the sports realm, and it sounds like an old man yelling at the kids in the neighborhood. So let's see. Let's try to figure out if he has something that's actually worth mentioning, right? So I heard this, and this was about the NFL Pro Bowl, right? And this has been an ongoing thing of people just not liking the NFL Pro Bowl anymore because the players don't try this, that, and the third. And the quote I heard was from a gentleman, and he said, "This is an outrage. This is terrible. This is not how the NFL works, and not my players back in my day when they played in the Pro Bowl. It didn't matter if they were getting a $1 bonus or they were getting $1 million bonus. They were going to play their hearts out. And Steve Tasker won the MVP of the Pro Bowl being a special teams player, and that's the way I like it." Like, okay, like, let's just think about right now, right? So these players, these are the best players in the entire game. Best players in the entire game, right? They've been awarded this honor to go and be representatives for their team as being one of the best in the league, and you want them to go balls out all to the wall like it is just a playoff game, like something that is on the line for these players, right? Yes, they do get a bonus, and I think this year the winner got 70 and the loser got 35, but to these guys that are making multi-million-dollar deals and have all of these sponsors and this, that money means nothing to them in the long run, and it's kind of ridiculous that you want these players to risk injury for a game that has no merit whatsoever. And I always get the backlash of, well, all these other leagues know how to figure it out, baseball and basketball and hockey, and yeah, you mentioned that, but there's two things that are wrong with that statement there. One, all of those leagues play their all-star game in the middle of the season, so they take a break in the middle of the season for this, okay? Number two, the way the game is played for football, you can't take plays off. You can't play at a slower level because of the opportunity for someone to get hurt. You're more likely, if you're not playing full speed, to get hurt in football rather than not. Right now, as compared to, let's say, baseball, if I'm a pitcher on the mound, I mean, I don't have to throw my hardest. I can groove a couple here and there and not have to worry about this, that. And if I'm the batter, I don't really have to try my hardest, or I don't really have to worry about getting a hit here. I can try to hit a home run every single time if I wanted to, right? Same thing with basketball, right? I don't really necessarily have to play the toughest defense because this game doesn't really matter and the fans want to see points and this, that, and all of that. But to be honest, the one that has figured out all-star games the best, in my opinion, is hockey, because they know exactly what the fans want and they give them what they want to see, and it's beautiful that way, right? They have all of these amazing trick shots, and let's see who has the fastest slap shot and who skates the fastest in the league, and this to that. And it's fun for the players too, because it's not necessarily playing a game, but they are showing off their talents in the long run, and it's an all-day affair for these guys. They don't have to keep coming back and forth and this and that. They're there for one day, and they're there for the whole shot, right? And then the next day they play in mini 3-on-3 tournaments based on your team in your conference, and that's the coolest, because I mean, if you want to play hard, play hard. You just have to keep on playing. If you don't, then you lose and you're out and you get to watch. No big deal, right? So, and it gives the fans something different than what they're normally gonna see, right? And if I want to put my 2 cents in on the Pro Bowl, I think that's exactly what we need to do. The way that they have these skill competitions set up now, that's great. Awesome. Yes, keep doing those, but keep doing more of those. Like back in the day when they used to have the fastest man sprint in the NFL, and it was Darryl Green dusting every single one of these young guys, and it was incredible to watch, because you would never expect like this older DB to still have the same speed as these younger guys, and that was fun to watch for us. And I remember growing up watching Dan Marino and Randall Cunningham and Brett Favre throwing the longest pass competition and the QB accuracy stuff and all of that, and all of that stuff is good. Now, from a game standpoint, cut the whole thing. Cut the game, and what you do is you still split them up, AFC, NFC, right? But now, instead of putting it into a full game, you put them one offense on the 40, other offense on the 40. They're in shells, right? And you're playing 7-on-7, like almost like a 7-on-7 tournament. And then at the end, you got the 2 teams, and they play against each other, best of the best, right? That's what I think would be more fun, because yes, you're still getting the game-like aspect of it all, but it's not like a full entire game and you have to do this, that. You can let these guys go out and go play. And you can do some of the things that these guys were doing in terms of playing different sides of the ball and switching up and mixing it up and mix and matching, right? What you do, now you're going to ask, okay, well, what are you going to do with the linemen? We have no linemen in 7-on-7. Perfect, fine. You know what you do? You do all of the strength competitions, right? Bring back the bench press, right? Let's do one-on-ones, right? Let's see who is the best pass rusher. Let's see who's the best pass protector, both outside, inside. You know, let's mix it up, right? Let's be more innovative in what we're doing. If the product is not working, especially for a game, because I'll be honest, barely watched the Pro Bowl this year. It's in Orlando. It was raining. I'm not going to do any of that. Like, forget it, right? So let's bring some sort of attraction to it, and let's see some other things besides just playing a regular old game that we've been playing for years and years and years. And it's just like beating your head against the wall, man. It's just not going to change unless you want to change. Okay? We are going to go over some scores from last night in the Valley. Not too much going on. Last night. Only a few scores. Men's basketball, 89-28 was DHS versus Coachella Valley. Not too close of a game there. Girls soccer, Indio 2, Banning nothing. Palm Springs 4, Shadow Hills 1, and oh god, We're bringing back ties. Good grief. Okay, Xavier Prep and Rancho Mirage basically didn't even play. They might as well have not have. It was 0-0. Palm Desert beat La Quinta 1-0. Boys soccer, Rancho Mirage 4, Xavier Prep 0. Come on, Logan, get it together, kid. Shadow Hills 2, Palm Springs 1, LQ 1, Palm Desert 0. And those are your scores from last night. When we come back, we are going to go over an in-depth look at one of the schools in the Valley for their winter sports. And we are going to go over some other topics and things around the high school Valley. So we're going to take a quick recess, and when we come back, this is CLAHS. Get back in class here. I am live at Big Rock Golf and Pub. Big Rock Golf and Pub has been doing a lot for me, letting me have my show here. It's great place. They got great stuff here, great food, great drink. The golf is awesome. I believe we do have Tuesday night. They do have stuff going on. Come on down, check it out. It's good times. It's good fun. There is also the Super Bowl this weekend, Sunday, Super Bowl 53. If you have nowhere else to go to watch the game, come on down to Big Rock Golf and Pub. They will be having the game on all of these TVs. It's going to be a great time. First come, first serve. Seating is at noon, and it is $25 per seat. Okay, so let's go ahead and check that out. We are going to jump right into high school sports. In the winter, I am wanting to dive deep to each school and take a look at some of their best players, what they bring to the table, why their teams are successful. The first one I picked is Palm Desert, the Aztecs. My friends, the Aztecs. Funny story about the Aztecs. So I was originally planning on going to Palm Desert after moving, and then my sister transferring to Palm Springs. I had decided to go to Palm Springs, but I enjoy Palm Desert a lot. I like what they do over there. The athletic program is always top-notch, almost in everything that they do. Great program, great coaches over there. Love everything that they have going, and they're continuing to push forward. And they're always looking for not only conference championships, but starting to get into that CIF range, and it's CIF for bust. I know the football team going on back-to-back undefeated conference seasons. Huge success there. They're going to be looking for CIF championships for years to come for sure. But when it comes to winter sports here, we're going to start with, you know what, let's mix it up a bit. I was going to start with the boys. Let's start with girls basketball because they are crushing it. Girls basketball has been crushing it for Palm Desert. 7-1, 15-9. Overall on the season, looking to get into the playoffs. Their baller that they have on their team, I remember talking about her yesterday, Alexis Ligon, is tearing it up when it comes to points and leading her squad here. The one thing that I have noticed on this girls Palm Desert roster is that they do have some upper class experience, which is great for long playoff runs and getting there. The biggest thing about trying to make deep playoff runs and win CIF championships is you have to have good senior leadership. People that will not take no for an answer and will not leave the field or court until they win that game, right? So having a girl like that on your team and being able to take the last shot and be the one to make the plays for her team, that's going to be huge in the long run. I would love to give you stats on all of these players. Unfortunately, I can't find stats anywhere. Like literally anywhere. I can't find any stats on anything of these players, which is, you know what, it's like really disappointing because you want to be able to talk about every single one of these players and how they help their team, but without these stats, like it's a real shame. It's a real shame, and it's all across the board so far for winter sports, at least. Basketball, boys and girls, I can't find any sports. And let's just stop there because like that's, and you know what, it's just a joke. And being as a former prep athlete out here and being someone that wanted to continue on and play college sports, I always looked at my film and my stats as that's my currency. Like if football was my job, that's how I'm making money, right? Is by my stats and my play and being able to send that out there, right? So if I were a scout or a recruit that was trying to find out something about some of these players, and I can't find any stats on it, it's really disappointing because then how am I supposed to compare and contrast players not only in the area but other players that I'm looking at on my recruiting board? So, you know, as a coach, we always want to hold our players accountable, right? We tell them that you need to do this, this, and this, and this is just part of being in this sport, and this is what you have to do to be successful. But so should coaches, right? Coaches have to be held just as accountable, and it's unfortunate that some. Now, I'm not pointing at any fingers at anyone, and this is just a broad statement overall that I've seen all across the country, whether it is in the Midwest, East Coast, or West Coast. Coaches just think, well, I make the schedule, show up practices, I coach them, and I'm there for them at school, right? And there's nothing else that I need to do. Well, no, that's not true, right? So as a young student athlete, we have no idea what it takes to like get in contact with universities or colleges or whatever it is, right? So when you don't help us or like tell us or you're not putting the effort in to like show us like what it is that we need to do, or you just don't want to promote some of your best players, that really puts not only the player behind the 8 ball, but that just looks bad in itself on the program, right? So you're not taking into consideration the players that you have moving on afterwards, right? And that helps like build your entire program. If you're only concerned about the players that you have in your present time and you're not worried about some that are from the future because you just believe, well, kids will just show up and I'm just going to coach the ones that show up, and you're not worried about the ones that leave after and what kind of impression you left on them. It's really difficult to be successful as a coach, and being a young one striving for little things that I can try to help make not only myself better, but my program and my kids better. That's what better way than to keep promoting them. And I love seeing on social media coaches blasting out their players' videos and this, and take a look at that, because you never know who is going to look at that or who is going to see that, right? And it's almost doing a disservice to the sport that you're coaching in general. Like, I picked football because I love it, and there's nothing else that I would ever want to do, and I'm a football guy's guy that's gonna take it to the grave, that I will respect this game and do whatever it is to uphold that respect for the game. And you can say, oh, that's funny, it's just a game, little kids play it, whatever, this, that, and the third. But that's just what I believe it, and that's just anything that anybody does in any career choice that you choose, right? You're gonna want to fight and strive for every little inch to uphold the respect for that, whether you're the owner of that business or you're just a cog in the machine of that business. And you know, stats is just part of the job as a coach, and not having them up and not being able to see them, it's a real shame. All right, so let's get back to these rosters. I am going to go over boys basketball a little bit. Do know, watching them a couple of games on the year, I do know some of their players. One of the ones that stood out to me in the game that I watched against Xavier Prep was Devon Lopez. The guy was making plays all over the court. He was creating offensive opportunities from the defensive end, whether it was steals from the top of the key, getting into the passing lanes, or creating loose balls for other teammates, right? And then his dribble drive and kick, and being able to have wide open shots for other guys were huge. They do have an interesting gentleman, their big center, Kwalik Sorensen. Big guy, big presence in there, can do a lot of things for you in terms of creating screens and creating lanes for your guys trying to shoot the basketball. I would like him to be more of a stronger presence when it comes to playoff time, because teams are going to go after him and try to get him out of the game as quick as possible, by making him play defense and attacking the basket. And you're not strong in there, you will pick up those fouls, and you will be sitting next to the coach so fast it's going to be tough. It's going to be tough sledding if that's the case. Other player that has been rising in my stocks for top players in the Valley, Max Ralph has been playing really well, great guard play. And some of the things that I've noticed, obviously, yet again, for this Palm Desert roster, it's senior laden, so you're going to have some guys with experience that are hungry for some wins, man. And I can definitely see them trying to make some noise at the next part of the season, which is the postseason. But we got to get there. We got to get there. The DEL is still up for grabs. DEL is still up for grabs. For girls and boys soccer, boys soccer for sure is having a tough one this year. They don't have as much senior leadership as you would normally see from a team, which is good. That's promising. You like to have experience moving forward, and you can expect more things to come from these guys. Yet again, I'd love to get another deep dive in for these players, but there's no stats for them, man. It's almost it's doing them a disservice, man. It's doing them a disservice for sure. Girls soccer 7-2. They're looking at making a playoff run. Also, we're gonna check out their roster. Also, yep, and And you can see a theme here, right? So the teams that are successful, teams that are atop the standings in the DEL are senior-laden rosters, right? And teams that have experience of winning or losing close games and just sifting through in an entire year and understanding the entire process and grind of it is huge for some of these teams. Palm Desert in general, girls soccer is always tough. Always tough. I remember they were tough back when I was in high school also, which is it's a product of the system, right? If a program can sustain 10 years of being consistently good, and it shows, it's proofs in the pudding, right? It comes from the top down, and that's good stuff. That's what you like to see. That is definitely what you like to see. So when we come back, we are actually going to go over a couple more topics today, and we are going to wrap up with the games for tonight and what we can see, what we can expect, and where I'm going to be at. So we're going to take another recess, and this is CLAHS. And we are back in class. This will be the last period of class today. I am Michael Karls, and I am live at Big Rock Golf and Pub, brought to you by Coachella Valley Sports and Entertainment Stadium Authority. Big Rock Golf and Pub is crushing it for me, getting me this great water. Thank you, Big Rock Golf and Pub. Need it. We are back, and we are going to go over a couple more topics, and I will give you some of the games coming up tonight. One of the topics I did want to go over, this is a brutal score of the night. This one comes actually from the Valley. Girls basketball, Mesa Grande Academy versus Desert Chapel. Final score 54-2. Check. 52-4. Good grief. That is brutal. Okay. Other thing too, I mean, sitting here at break, and I'm thinking about, like, maybe I didn't look hard enough, deep enough to try to find these stats and look them up and this, that, and like, so I'm like Googling, like, where is the best place to look for stats, and it's all the ones that I've already clicked on, and even going to, like, the team athletics, the stats aren't even there too. So I think the general consensus here is, where are the stats? And we need them now. Okay? Awesome. Cool. So let's go over some scores for tonight. Check. Let's see. Tuesday. This is men's basketball for tonight. The 6 o'clock games, Yucca Valley versus Desert Mirage. Let's see. Indio versus Banning. Indio has already clinched the conference title. First one since 2002. Props to Indio. Let's go get on that run for the playoffs. Here we go. Other 6 o'clock game, 29 Palms versus Cathedral City. We're going over the 6:30 games here. Let's see. Palm Springs playing Shadow Hills. Palm Springs needing to finish strong, trying to get that conference win. Go Big Red. Let's go. I got you guys. Come on. We have a flag game tonight. Looks like it's senior night also. La Quinta versus Palm Desert. This is going to be a fun one. You throw, anytime you have rivalry games, right? Throw those record books out the window. Anything can happen. Anything will happen at these games, especially the flag game. One of the best rivalries, arguably, in the Valley. Other game on the 6:30 slate tonight. Rancho Mirage at Xavier Prep. Xavier Prep is having their senior night also. If you love hearing these velvety pipes and you just can't get enough of it, come on down to Xavier Prep. I do the announcing for those games. It's going to be a great game. The Xavier Prep team is looking to make a splash and get into those playoffs. These kids are rocking and rolling, trying to do everything they can with honestly little varsity experience to their names, which is great that they're being able to do the things that they are, and they've already broken their record for wins in a season. It's great stuff. You love to see it. You just love to see it. Girls schedule for tonight. The 6 o'clock slate. Looks like we have Desert Mirage and Yucca Valley also. Desert Hot Springs and Coachella Valley. Cathedral City, 29 Palms. For the 6:30 slate, yet again, another flag game, Palm Desert La Quinta. So the way these work is for conference play at least, the girls play opposite of where the boys are at, right? So now La Quinta is home for this one and Palm Desert would be away, right? Shadow Hills, Palm Springs, Xavier Prep, Rancho Mirage, and Indio and Banning. And those are the scores or schedule, rather, for tonight. And as we go over to, we're going to check out soccer, boys soccer for today. 5 o'clock games, Coachella versus Desert Hot Springs, 29 Palms and Cathedral City. Cathedral City got that tie. Those ties bug me out every time I see them. It's crazy. Banning Indio, double ties there. Yucca Valley, Desert Mirage, Palm Springs, Shadow Hills. And now we're going to kick it on over to the girls' soccer schedule. And you guessed it, there's a theme. Looks like these schools are playing each other tonight. Desert Hot Springs, Coachella Valley, Cathedral City, 29 Palms, Shadow Hills, Palm Springs, Desert Mirage, Yucca Valley. And the soccer games tonight will be on at 5 o'clock. Most of the basketball games are 6 and 6:30. So go ahead and check those out. Check out your local prep sports. Let me take a drink. Mouth gets so dry, it's brutal. Tough. I will definitely be at that Xavier Prep game, cheering on my boys. They got some tough sledding ahead. I can't wait for playoffs. That's what's the most exciting time for me, especially when the other teams that are not in the playoffs in the Valley are able to come out and support the other schools and check them out, and being able to actually cheer on the other players from their Coachella Valley, because they're not playing against them. They have no skin in it. And what better way than to want to see the Valley grow and have players from the Valley showcase off for you if that's the case. And I love stuff like that, man. It's always fun. And the guys that are playing in the game actually get a little boost from it for sure. Like if they know that they got friends from other schools coming to watch them play, that's all. It's just going to make them play even harder, right? And that's going to actually do it for this segment of class. It's been great. We're still rocking and rolling. I appreciate you guys. No pun intended with the Big Rock Golf and Pub, by the way, rocking and rolling. I appreciate you guys, all the support, all the feedback that I'm getting. It's only going to get better and better. I'm only going to get better and better. I promise. The show is great, and I've already heard a few kids asking when they can be on and when they can interview. It's going to be so much fun. I'm super excited to see the changes that are going to be happening also, and all the things that you can expect and all the fun that we're going to have. As for Coachella Valley Sports and Entertainment, Stadium Authority, and Big Rock Golf and Pub, I am Michael Karls, and class is dismissed.